Okay. Oh, yeah, I think we're good. Okay, we're here with our third attempt of our interview. So we'll just jump right in. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and about your story?
A little bit about myself. Okay, I'm going to be 43 in a few weeks, and I was raised in an old school Italian Catholic home. And my father was a hairdresser for the beginning of my life, and I went down the same path for 17 years. And I now work at a cancer hospital for a division of the Department of Health, so I kind of belong to the state. There is no short story about me and Mr. Sexy. We've known each other since I was 14 years old. Never officially dated. We're always friends with benefits. His first bid, I pushed him away because I contracted a chronic illness. So I watched him start a family with somebody else and did a reading in their wedding. When that reading and that wedding happened, I walked away, never saw him again until he called me in October of 2007 and announced that she wanted the divorce. April of 2008, the nightmare started, and he accepted a plea for a crime that he didn't commit to keep his children off of the stand. So his third bid, and hopefully final, we'll see. He finally got to come home to me. We officially started dating 6 months before that bid, and here we are, ready to start our life together.
Yay. And we did talk about this on the first interview that didn't record, but timing is everything.
Timing
And
is everything.
yeah, so
And I do, I get a lot of you're absolutely crazy, you're absolutely nuts, but like I said before, Ro, when I went on that altar and did that reading, that was it. I knew it was, so when it walked into my life again, and now I'm completely cured, there was no way I was going to say no. I had to give it my all. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. At least I know I tried.
yep. And that's a very valid point. I'm glad you brought that up because I think the majority of us get that you're crazy situation. And like we always say, you can't really judge somebody unless you're in their shoes, and especially in this situation because from the outside looking in, sure, it looks crazy. And I've called people in this situation crazy before I was in it. So not only is it something that's just so beautiful and something that was the right time, but it's a huge lesson learned, at least for me and for I think everybody, that you really can't judge somebody until you walk a mile in their shoes.
Exactly. Exactly.
So how did you find SPWF and how long into your journey was it?
I don't know exactly how long into my journey it was, but I have to say it was relatively quickly into my journey. And I did find Strong Prison Wise on Facebook. So then when I found that, I connected with the original website, but I really didn't have a lot of action in there because I just thought Facebook was more, I was just getting into Facebook then. So that's how it happened for me.
Okay, and how did you get involved with working in the staff group? And how did the site itself and working in the staff group help you through your journey?
Um, the site in itself is amazing because I actually found women that were in the same situation as I was. That, what we do to go shopping, send them packages, the treatment that we get at the post office to send the packages, the phone calls, that 30 seconds, to say goodbye, looking at the watch constantly, your phone being a constant accessory with you. And as a matter of fact, I do have a personal thank you from Mr. Sexy. And I'm going to read his words from him specifically. He says, the help that I received from the site was for my girl. It, it gave her a better understanding that there were people out there with the same basic problems we had, in knowing she could relate to others and others could relate to us. The support from the members was huge. So he personally thanks you, girls, and the staff, and everybody in our life, our prison family and prison life, specifically for that reason, because I have to say, the site also helped him because I would give him information on what was going on and how to do things. So it's huge. It's a huge, huge thing, and people don't understand. It grows more and more every day. Every day. it's just amazing. I became a staff member after he came out because I'm the moderator for the After Incarceration group. And it's our way of giving back to you guys for everything that you've done for us. And I love the site now, too, because it keeps me level-headed. I mean, yes, he's out, but we still have a ton of obstacles that we have to go through. So I get a little bratty, and then I read what you girls are going through on a daily basis, and I'm like, okay, shut up. So I love that it keeps me level-headed because I don't, because I've been through so much in my life, I don't try to get wrapped up in a whole bunch of craziness. So I love that that realism is still there for me to stay focused.
I love that, and I have two responses to that. First of all, you've been with me and with the site from just about the very beginning, and Mr. Sexy has been nothing but extremely supportive and just so complimentary and loving, and it's amazing. And it's always stood out to me that a lot of, the husbands, the boyfriends, the guys on the inside are so much more supportive of their women being on the site and being online and open about it than I really thought that they would be. There have been a few who were kind of skeptical in the beginning for very good reason, but majority of them always come around, if not like out of the gate, love it. And I've always loved that because, we want to do stuff that they're supportive of, and we want to make sure that they're the ones that are kind of in control. And I don't mean that in a controlling way. I mean, if Adam told me, hey, don't say this online, then he's the one that's there. I'm the one that has to, not do that. So that I've always loved how supportive he's been and how supportive the majority of everybody's been. And number two, I don't think a lot of people know this, but you and I, like I said earlier, met very early in this for me, very early in Strong Prison Wives. And, I want to thank you for being there as much as you said, the site's been there for you, because you got me through a very personal struggle in my life. My mom was just diagnosed with cancer when you and I first met, and in everything going on that has gone on in your life and your job and everything, you helped me get through so much. So I want to thank you as much as, you said the site's been there for you. You've been there for me personally. And we've developed this, we just hit it off right from the beginning.
Right from the beginning.
And I think the site has been like that for a lot of, best friends that have developed.
Exactly.
So, yeah, so that's great too.
And by the way, that whole turning thing, your mother has now fully turned because here I am with my mother. And you have been there for me and supported me for my whole thing. So, yeah, it's amazing, like, how reality and Dee and you, we've never met face to face, but I feel closer to you guys than I have pretty much with anybody in my life, and I think it's that connection of what we're going through. And again, it's not just what we're going through, it's the connection that we have in our relationship, because you have to have that special connection with somebody to get through it.
Yep, and we could support each other not only through this, but in other areas of our lives.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's great. Okay, so moving on. Do you think you're a different person from the beginning of this journey? Oh my God. Journey. And if so, how have you changed? What have you learned about yourself?
Well, I have to tell you, it's actually, I jumped out of my comfort zone because of my blog, and I owe that to you. I really don't have healthy writing skills, so speaking has always been better for me to get out what I need to say, because sometimes my head runs faster than my hand. So in that aspect, yes, that's made me grow. It's also, when you think you can't be any stronger, you get more strong from the site, from the life. And again, it keeps you real. You remember the little things in life. I mean, when you're on visit, you remember that you get to touch him for, just that little time. And these people outside just take it for granted. We're only allowed X amount of minutes to speak on the phone, where, people just, that's one thing we've always said, that we hoped that this whole experience would keep us from taking each other for granted. And I think that's going a good point for all of us who are going through this, because they remember what you did for them, and you know, even right now, I know, like, you know, he's so limited in what he can do. He beats himself up because he can't be there for me all the way, and he feels that he needs to own me, you know. And that was one thing that I put out in the open, that I always said to him, whether or not we were a couple or not, I was not leaving. He was going to have him by his side. You owe me nothing. You know, I did this because I wanted to do this because I love you, whether or not we were a couple or not. So I think it helps you stop taking things for granted. That's one thing that I try to stay focused on and, you know, remember.
And the good thing is, you know, if tables were turned, he would have done it in a heartbeat
Absolutely.
for you.
And
Yeah.
you know what? The tables were turned at one time. I had an incident for a non-moving violation, and I did spend the night in jail. And he was thick and thin. He was there for me more than the man that I was dating at that time. You know, so, and it's just incredible that bond that you have with them.
And you also made a great point that I want to, you know, touch on is that he wants to support you the way that you support him. And sometimes they, in general, feel inadequate. And that came up on the site today, actually. And a lot of women feel the need to shield their feelings from, you know, the guys. Or I know with Adam, it's like he talks about how people in his life, when somebody gets sick or, you know, somebody, God forbid, is dying, they don't tell him, and they people act off to him, but they won't tell him why. And so he knows because they're really intuitive in there. And for him, that hurts his feelings because he's like, I'd rather just know. And I think with us, you know, when we're having a bad day or, you know, when we're really, really stressed out about something, and we don't tell them because we think that it's going to cause them more stress in there, it actually probably works against us because he wants to be there for you. We're supporting them 24 hours, 7 days a week. And I think that they want to give us whatever they can in whatever way that they can because it's so limited. And I just wanted to touch on that because you mentioned something like that and it came up on the site today.
Right, absolutely.
So, what do you think has been the most difficult challenge for you and him to overcome since he's been home?
Time. Time. We just don't have enough time.
Yeah.
You know, he had to curfew at 8 o'clock, and he had to be home. I mean, like yesterday was his birthday. I saw him for 5 minutes. I didn't see him at all today. He has responsibilities, and, you know, now we have his son with him. So time, it's very limited. It's, you know, you think that they're going to come home, and I'm not one to get crazy about, you know, his time with his friends or whatever he wants to do, but time. Like, it's time. Two regulations are very, you know, very hard. He's my significant other, and there's places I can't bring him, but he's not allowed to go. So, you know, you kind of think that that's all going to go away, and it doesn't. But you know what? He's a mile away from me. I know he's going to call me tomorrow, and I can call him whenever I can. And, you know, again, not, you know, we don't all have that, but it is what it is. You just grin and bear it, and it could be nothing. You know, 7 years ago it was nothing.
Now, do you think some of that time issue is because you feel like you guys have to make up for lost time as well?
I don't like to look at it as we have to make up for lost time, because again, I was on the altar when I was married. So I'm lucky to be where I am at all. I just think, I think once we live together, it'll be better. And again, I'm grateful that we didn't get to live together as soon as he got out because there's so much adjustment. I mean, there's just so, I mean, I noticed that, you know, the couple of days after he came home, we were at the grocery store and you could see him, you know, just bugging out. And, you know, and not at all institutionalized. You can just see certain things, and I'm glad that it happened the way it did. But we'll get over the things at the time. You know, I'm not worried about it.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm reading this question that I wrote, and it's funny and it's a loaded question, but what's been the most rewarding part about having him home?
I get to see him every day. Or if not, I get to hear his voice. I don't have to worry as much. You know, when he didn't call in there, your mind goes a million, you know, what happened, what's going on, are they okay, did something happen? And with him, it was even more stressful because he has asthma. So when it would get cold out, I would worry if he was sick or, so a little bit of that worry has been curbed because I know he's just a mile away.
I love it. Okay, so your videos and posts in the Life After group have been so encouraging and inspiring to members who are waiting their loved one's return. And we had spoken about this before, but how does he feel about you making videos about his homecoming, and has he been supportive of your time? And obviously he already answered this in what you said before, but if you feel like elaborating, go for it. And also, will he be making an appearance in any of your videos?
Unfortunately, no, he will not be making appearance in any of the videos due to his parole conditions. He's not allowed on the internet, safe way or form. He's not even allowed to have cable, which is why his son is living with me, and now with him because how do you deal with a 15-year-old with no cable on the internet? I will tell you, from the beginning, I shared everything with him about going on the site, and right from the beginning he was totally for it. When I started to make the videos, I explained to him what I was going to do. Like I told him that they could be written form, but I had decided I was going to go down the video form, and he was totally cool about it. And again, we look at it as we're giving back for everything that you guys did for us. He actually does get involved. Like he knew I posted another one the other day, and he wanted to know what it touched base on. And he tries to give me some pointers. He doesn't watch them, of course, because he's not allowed on the internet, but he gets the gist of what I do. So yeah, I mean, if his parole conditions do get changed, I promise you I will get him on video.
So is that a certain set amount of time, or is this indefinite, or how does that work, that he's not allowed on the internet? Because that's horrible.
I don't really know. I mean, he's on parole for 6 years.
Okay.
They can change, the rules can change here and there. I mean, when he got out, he wasn't allowed to be around children, and that changed within 2 weeks. So we just take it day by day, because the thing is that they constantly change the parole officers, so different parole officers do different things. So we're just going to take it one day at a time. It's like that old saying, don't take it for granted. If you don't think about it, it wasn't there, and you can't be taken away from that.
Sure. And he didn't have it for so long in there. And just to clarify for our new girls, this is something that was written specifically in his case. So this isn't for everybody when they're on parole. They can't go on the internet.
No, this is specifically for his case, for his, crime specifically. Different people do different things. And remember, this is New York State parole.
Yeah.
New York State parole is it's very tough.
Yeah.
It's extremely tough. I mean, actually, I'm going to be honest with you, when he was in jail, his counselor told him that 85% of the people that are in there are violation of probation, of parole. And they violate you for the most ridiculous things, So it is what it is. That's why you got to be careful. He literally has to take lie detector tests.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I knew some of this from, our conversations earlier, but I also know a lot of it from your videos in the premium group and on the Life After group. So if you ladies are interested, I mean, Mrs. B's videos are out of this world. I have people text me sometimes like, oh my God, I can't open her video. What do I do? Because they just love them, and they're chock full of information, not only about like the New York State stuff, but just about what to expect and how to, just get back into that everyday swing together, and the trials and the tribulations and the good things, and you're just so positive and so sweet and adorable, and I really encourage everyone to watch.
Well, thank you.
There's my little commercial for you.
Inbox me. Whatever you need to do, I'm willing to, do whatever help you need. I mean, no question is a stupid question. Absolutely. Inbox me. If, whatever you need, let me know. Absolutely. I will, you guys have been through thick and thin for me, and I want to just get back and help you guys as much as we possibly can.
Okay, so this next one is a little bit of a long one, so I'm going to read it. It says, there are so many fears and concerns associated with the what-ifs of when he gets home, and I feel like it's a day that we all dream about and live for, yet when the day finally is in arm's reach, it seems that most people inside and out start to freak out. it's almost like we've learned to find comfort in the independence and in being alone. At least that's one of my fears when I dream about the day that Adam gets home. Did you and Mr. Sexy hit that freak out point, and how did you move past it? Also, how was the initial adjustment when he first started integrating back into your life from prison life? I remember a story in one of your videos about him reorganizing and you couldn't find anything, and it was something you needed to get used to. Can you elaborate, and are there more instances that you'd like to share? Sorry, that was a huge, long one.
No, it's all good. Okay, the not being able to find things. Like I told you, we have 3 rental properties. So when he went away, I was in charge of them. When he left, my apartment was my apartment. And then he went in, and his mother sold his house, so all of his stuff went to my apartment, and it was very cluttered. There was no organization whatsoever, and he is extremely organized. His mother was extremely, he has a lot of OCD to him. So I remember the day that he came home, I literally told him, I'm telling you right now, this is going to be the scene from Goodfellas when he comes home from prison. I don't know if you ever saw that. And he walks in the door, he goes, Karen, hurry up and pack up, we're moving, we're getting out of here. That's exactly what happened. So those first 3 days when I came home to my apartment, everything was organized. All the garbage was out, everything. And, you know, I'm a survivor. You know, as you know, I lived a rough life with my father. So nothing can be as bad as living in that house. So he, you know, everything has a place with him. And yeah, I couldn't find a thing because he just organized the house. And even though he wasn't living there 24/7, he thought it helped me get organized and get the clutter out of the way. And it really does. It really makes life so much better. As far as flipping, you know, us freaking out, we haven't necessarily done that because I think we still have that initial we're not living together thing. I will tell you that there are days that my alone time totally gets cut and I'm trying to deal with it, but it's hard. The one big thing with us is the money thing. I've been working since I was 13 years old. It's hard for me to take money from people, and that's the other thing. We're both givers. We've never been in that position. Our significant other's always been a taker. We've been the giver. So now that you have 2 givers in a relationship, it's hard. It's tough, you know, because we're constantly doing things for. It's kind of funny. We'll be sitting on the couch and we both get up at the same time to go give each other something. So on that aspect, that's been extremely hard to get used to because I find he, you know, I leave my ID and money in my bedroom, and if I don't have any money with my ID and my card, he'll slip it in and he won't pay me. And then I'll say thank you, and he'll be like, I don't know what you're talking about. Because I have a hard time with that. And I told him that. You know, he's like, well, why didn't you ask me? Honey, I haven't asked a man for money. It's not happening now. And he's like, well, I don't have a problem taking your money. And I go, well, that's a different story. You know, I don't mind giving you my money, but taking, you know, it's hard. So that adjusting thing, the independent thing, like he always wants to help me, and there's times like, just let me, you know, let me do it. So, but you know, they like to be your knight in shining armor. So you have to, it's an adjustment. You just take it one day at a time. I mean, it's constantly evolving and constantly changing. And you know what, Ro, that's another thing that I think we have different than everybody else out there. I think everybody else is so spoiled that they expect all the good, and they don't realize that you need the bad to make the good. And I think that's why we're so different than they are, because we have all these obstacles and we have all these challenges to get over. So, you know, a little letter in the mail means is a big thing.
Yep.
And a big diamond ring on your finger.
What about like the last couple months or the last couple weeks while you guys were still separated, while he was still there? Was there any kind of freak out around just the anticipation, or was there any kind of anxiety, the beforehand? You know how sometimes things kind of are more or bigger in your head than actually when you just live it, if that makes sense? Was
Well,
there any kind of fear around that?
before he came home, I had like every second, every minute planned, and when he came home, none of it happened. Um, Me totally flipped out, but I mean, I've been that way with him my whole entire life. I've always had the butterflies. I still have them to this day. You know what I mean? So it was more me, absolutely. I think he was a little nervous because he had been in that frame of mind where he was getting this label on him. So I think he was trying to hold back because he was almost thinking maybe he was that label. So he's better now with that, like you can see. I mean, you know how they are in there. They're always protecting themselves, and you know, I even noticed when he sleeps, he still jumps a little. That kind of thing. So I think again time. I think it's all just going to take time.
And that's a huge help, I think, not only for me to hear, but for everybody else to hear, because we all hear horror stories and we hear them from people who probably haven't even lived it, who probably make half of it up. Or it's just like the tiniest little thing is so dramatized that we all fear it so much. So yeah, the fact that he jumps a little bit, it's annoying and it's something that time will heal, but it's not like, he's strangling you in your sleep. Like we hear those crazy things. So
Yeah.
huge help.
Yeah, ridiculous. No, I mean, like,
So ridiculous.
I noticed, like, he doesn't have a sound sleep like he used to. Even when he's napping, he kind of jumps a little bit. And, God only knows. There's probably, there's a ton of, and I know there's a ton of stuff that he didn't tell me that happened in there, and I'm good with that, but, you have no idea. And that's why, like, I try to tell some of the girls, oh, he didn't come, da, 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 and you have no idea. Just, I know it's easier said than done. I've been there, you've been there, we've all jumped to conclusions. But, if they're not showing affection or emotion, it's a defense mechanism.
Yeah.
It really is. They're protecting themselves. They kind of, he told me on countless times, I just can't go there. I cannot go there. I cannot, I can't.
Wise, wise, wise words from you. So I'm going to read the next one too because it's a little bit long.
Okay.
You've been such an inspiration to everyone who's waiting for a release date. It's like you're giving us a map to this unknown territory and we won't have to navigate it all alone. What advice do you have for new members and ladies who are getting towards the end of their journey as an SPWF?
Patience. Have patience 1 day, 1 minute, 1 hour at a time. Just patience. Love each other, enjoy the time that you get with one another. Just patience. Especially the ones that have been in for a long time. This one girl came to me and she said, when he went in, they didn't have cell phones. Now they do. I remember when Mr. Sexy came out, he went to go use the phone that he had before he came in, and he had no idea. He just didn't have food. And the one big shock that he had was the total constant seeing people in the screen of the phone. It was just one thing he still to this day can't get used to. So we have a rule now. We put our phones in the middle of the table, and especially when we're going out to dinner, and the first person that touches their phone has to take it off.
Oh.
But just patience, girls. Just be patient, and he'll be patient with you. He might tiptoe, around you the first couple of months. Just patience and just love each other, enjoy one another, enjoy your time.
I love that.
The clock's away. Put the clocks away.
So what's next for you two?
Just get through what we can get through. Everybody wants to know when we're getting married. Well, we can't live together, so why get married right Like I said, we have his 15-year-old is with me. He's a junior in high school. I just really want him to concentrate, with the kids. I mean, his first one's in college, moving home this Thanksgiving. Listen, our birthdays, his birthday was yesterday. It was the first one. He was home. Mine in a couple weeks. We just want to enjoy one another, enjoy our family, enjoy our friends. As you know, I have a lot of craziness in my life. Who knows if and when my mom, was going to have one with her. I really don't want any plans, to be quite honest with you. I just want to take a day by day.
I love that. I do. So is there anything left that I didn't ask you that you wanted to elaborate on? Is there any other advice you want to give the girls? Is there anything you want to leave them with? Because I've taken up way too much of your time tonight already.
Girls, just remember, we're human. We're human beings,
I love that.
Yes, you made this choice. No, you don't need anybody to feel sorry for you or take pity on you. Yes, you are allowed to have a bad day. Yes, you want to lock the door and not talk to anybody. That's your business and go right ahead. When it starts becoming a habit and you've been doing it for a month, then you got some issues. And you got to get yourself out of the rut. But just be patient with yourself. Love yourself. Love yourself. One thing I have learned in this life and throughout life, you cannot wake up in the morning and look in the mirror and like what you see. You are in big, huge trouble. You have to love yourself. And until you do that, you'll have many problems in your life. Whether you love somebody or not, you can't love anybody until you love yourself. Just be patient with yourself. Remember, we're all here for you. Just extend the olive branch and we'll be there in a second.
I love that. I love you. You are so awesome. You are such an inspiration to everyone. And as we're filming this, I'm laughing to myself because I'm like, not only are you the best interviewer, but I'm like, what entertainment for everyone that's watching this, because you're oh my God, I can't speak. Answering questions, and it's two Italian girls from New York and New Jersey talking with our hands the whole time.
I know, it's ridiculous. Sorry.
No, it's me too.
That I want to learn sign language, so it'll be okay to talk with them.
You and me both. No, honestly, it gives us character. So I'm just laughing because I'm sure.
You know I'm a ham. I mean, I've been a model since I was a little girl, so I love the camera. So anytime you need anything, let me know. I'm here for you.
Well, I would love to do this again in the future, and we'll definitely get I think the whole technical thing is worked out now. So lots and lots of love to you girls. Thank you for watching the video. Please comment below and let us know what you think about this video.
Feedback.
And we will see you girls in the next one. Keep staying strong, keep loving strong, and keep supporting one another through this journey, because you're one day closer to it all being behind you and in our beautiful Mrs. B's shoes. Love you guys. Bye.
Bye. Love you guys.
All right, so it said it stopped. I think we're good. No, wait, maybe not.